Hey, what's up everybody? Fanboy here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the SteelSeries Arctis 9X wireless gaming headset for Xbox. And I'm going to be talking about why I think that if you own a current generation Xbox console, so any flavor of the Xbox One, and or you plan on buying the Xbox Series X when it comes out later this year, why I think that the Arctis 9X is the best headset money can buy when it comes to sound quality, ease of use, features, and much more. Alright, so let's get going. So I received the Arctis 9X from the good folks over at SteelSeries around 2 weeks ago. And I did a quick unboxing for you guys when I first got it, the day I got it actually. And since then I hooked it up to my Xbox One X and I've been playing with the Arctis 9X a lot. And I have to say that after 3 weeks of using it on a daily basis, I walk away both not surprised and pretty impressed. I say not surprised because for the last year and a half I've been using the Arctis Pro Plus Game Deck, another SteelSeries headset, with my PS4, and it's been by far the best gaming headset I have ever used. Before that I was using the Astro A50 wireless and I was pretty happy with it, although I always felt like it lacked when it came to volume level. So I was really happy with the Arctis Pro Plus Game Deck, so I'm not surprised that the Arctis 9X delivers sound quality like it does, because it comes off a lineage of very respected and well-known gaming headsets. But I'm also pretty impressed that they managed to cram everything they did into the Arctis 9X while keeping the form factor exactly the same as the Arctis Pro Plus Game Deck or the Arctis Pro Wireless, but at the same time doing away completely with the transmitter base. One of the coolest things about the Arctis 9X is the fact that it uses the same wireless protocol that your Xbox One controllers use, so it connects directly to your Xbox without needing any dongles or anything. You just pair it with your Xbox the same way you do with a controller. So let's talk about what those features are, starting with the looks and the ergonomics of the Arctis 9X. As you can see, it is a mostly black headset. It uses a very Xbox-like pattern on the ski goggle elastic band on top of. Other than that, it's pretty much all black. The large surfaces, like the ear cups, are made of plastic. It's a soft touch kind of plastic that feels pretty premium. It doesn't feel plasticky and cheap. And the headband itself is made of metal. I think it's either stainless steel or some other type of steel, but it's really springy and it feels pretty durable. And the hinges, I can't really tell if they're made of plastic or metal, but they also seem to be pretty sturdy. The ski goggle elastic headband has become a staple of SteelSeries' Arctis line of headsets, and it serves to make sure that the headset sits comfortably on top of your head without having to apply pressure to your skull, and it works really well. I have played for many hours with it, and it really doesn't bother you over extended gaming sessions or anything like that. Next, the ear cushions. The cushions on the ear pads seem to be made of a memory foam kind of material covered by a soft touch microfiber material that seems to be pretty breathable, which in my opinion is much better than leather or leatherette kind of materials that usually get, with sweat, they get stuck to your skin and sometimes they start peeling off. I have played for many hours with both the Arctis Pro Plus Game Deck and with the Arctis 9X, and they both use the same kind of material on the ear cushions, and they seem to be pretty breathable and pretty comfy over time too. Next, let's talk about the controls. On the left ear cup, you have one control, which is the chat mix dial. And you use that to, as the name says, to control how much of the game chat you want to hear versus the game audio, the default game sounds like explosions and music and everything like that. On the front of the left ear cup, we have the microphone, which is extendable and retractable. So you can just pull it out like that, or you can push it back in, and it works both ways. I have played with a lot of people with the microphone completely retracted into the headset, and people said that my voice sounded fine too. So it does pick up sound a little better if it's closer to your mouth, but it, in my opinion, didn't make much of a difference. So I mostly keep it retracted. Then moving on to the right ear cup. On the right ear cup, we have a plethora of buttons and controls. That's where most of the controls are. The first one on top is the volume control, the main volume, that basically, as the name says, allows you to control the volume up or down. Then below the volume dial, we have the mute button to mute the microphone. And there is a little light that comes on when you push the mute button and you engage it. The light on the microphone, the tip of the microphone goes on and becomes red, and to let you know without having to touch the button or anything, you can see it right there if you have the microphone extended. Next, we have the multifunction Bluetooth button, which is used to pair with your phone for the first time, but also to hang up and pick up calls, to skip tracks and rewind tracks and stuff stuff like that. So it's basically used to control most of the Bluetooth functions when you have a Bluetooth device connected to the headset in parallel with the Xbox. Next, we have the power button, which, as the name implies, is what you use to turn the headset on and off. But also, if you just tap the power button, it allows you to switch between the 4 preset EQ profiles that are stored onto the memory of the Arctis 9X. So you just tap it one time and it goes to the next preset. Tap it again, goes to the next preset. There are 4 presets that come with the headset, but you can customize those with the SteelSeries engine software that we're going to talk about soon. Next, we have the micro USB port, which is used both to connect your headset to your computer to update firmware and adjust a bunch of settings, but also to charge your headset. I wish they had put a USB-C port here. It's almost, the end of 2020, and most devices that come out, new devices that come out, have USB-C ports on them, but this is still micro USB, and it's going to be obsolete in a year or two. So I wish they had put a USB-C port instead. And then next we have a feature that you don't see very often in headsets in general, or especially in gaming headsets, which is an audio out port, which allows you to connect another headset to the Arctis 9X so that 2 people can enjoy whatever is happening on screen or what music you're listening to or anything like that. So next, let's talk about the battery life. SteelSeries claims that the battery on the Arctis 9X can last for up to 20 hours of gameplay on a single charge. And I have to say that based on my real world testing, it actually has lived up to that and surpassed it a little bit. Because I charged it for the first time when I first received it. And I played an average of 2.5 hours of Call of Duty every day since. And it took me 6.5 days, almost an entire week before I had to charge it again. So I'm sure that that I played more than 23 to 24 hours before I had to recharge it. Next, let's talk about software. As I mentioned earlier, you can download the SteelSeries engine software, which I believe is on version 3 right now, but you can download it for both Mac and PCs. And when you connect your Arctis 9X to your computer and you run that software, you can adjust a bunch of settings for the Arctis 9X. Like, for example, all the different EQ presets. You can customize each one of the 4 presets and upload them to the headset so that they are living in the 4 preset banks that you have on the headset itself. You can also adjust the mic volume level for your voice, so how loud you want your voice to be heard by other people. And also you can adjust the side tone level, which is basically how much of your own voice you want to hear on your ear cups, when you're on your headset when you're talking to other people. So you can adjust those. There are a few other features that you can enable or disable there, like for example the turn Bluetooth on automatically feature, which means that every time you turn the headset, the Arctis 9X on, and it connects to your Xbox, it also connects to your most recently paired Bluetooth device, usually your phone. But you can also turn that feature off on the SteelSeries engine software so that you have to manually turn on Bluetooth after you turn the headset on. You can also create complete profiles that you can choose from. So you can create one profile, for example, for first-person shooters with 4 different EQ presets specifically for first-person shooters, and create another entire profile with other 4 presets for RPG games, for example. You can switch between those by connecting the headset to your computer every time, which I don't think is very practical, but and I don't think I would ever use more than 4 EQ presets anyway, but it's good to know that the feature is there for people who want to use it. When it comes to sound quality, things can get a little bit subjective because it can be a matter of personal taste. Some people prefer really deep bass, others prefer a more well-balanced sound. And I'm personally a fan of SteelSeries' sound signature. I feel like all their headsets have a more well-balanced sound that covers all the frequencies well. And the Arctis 9X is no different. It's really bassy enough that things rumble when you feel really immersed in games, and it doesn't distort. The bass doesn't distort when you crank up the volume. But the bass is not so heavy that it overpowers the mids and the highs. So it doesn't really make them sound muffled and then hide things like footsteps and stuff like that. So I feel like overall it sounds really good. It's a really broad range of frequencies that the headset covers, and then when you pair the well-balanced sound with your ability to go into the settings and customize the EQ presets yourself using SteelSeries Engine 3, I feel like everybody's gonna find a preset that makes them happy and that they like according to their own personal tastes. In terms of sound separation and surround positioning for different sounds. The Arctis 9X is really good at that too. It really gives you an advantage when you're playing first-person shooters to know exactly where people are coming from when they're coming like behind you and stuff like that. A really good surround simulation and overall really good sound separation. I'd say it's at least on par with what I've experienced on the Osprey 50, maybe a little bit better too. So to wrap it up, I feel like, as I said in the beginning, the Arctis 9X is the best headset you can get right now for your Xbox, especially when you consider that it's going to be fully compatible with the Xbox Series X when it comes out later this year. So yes, it's not cheap at $199, $199. It's definitely up there in the upper range of premium headsets. You can buy other great headsets for less money, but I don't think that they offer as much ease of use, the direct connection with your Xbox, and sound quality, sound separation on this headset is just amazing. And I absolutely think that it is worth the $199 price tag. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you found this review of the Arctis 9X useful, and if you liked it, please remember to hit like below and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss new unboxings, reviews, cool Fanboy original products that you can download and 3D print at home yourself, and much more. All right, catch you on the next one. Fanboy out.